today we're talking about like how we met and when we met. And I guess I can let you start. Like we met October 8th, 2021.
Yeah. It was an amazing Bumble experience.
Shout out to Bumble.
Yeah.
For like I guess connecting, because we lived in 2 different cities.
Didn't even know it.
At the time.
Yeah.
Since obviously I didn't zoom in on my location and he did, but somehow we connected.
Yeah.
So I guess some things are just meant to be. So
because with dating apps, if anybody here has ever been in the dating app world, whether if it's Tinder, Bumble, or Match.com or that kind of jazz, I kind of feel like I'm in some type of infomercial now for dating apps, but that's not what we're doing.
No, it's not.
What ended up happening is we met on Bumble. Obviously, we both swiped right. We started talking, and our first time talking was for 4 hours. Yeah, we had literally a 4-hour conversation the first time that we spoke.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation. We talked about like everything you can possibly think of as a partner.
Yeah, and even like getting all the adulty kind of stuff out of the way right away. Like, what's your credit score?
I know,
what's your debt?
Like your debt. What's your income? Like, we went all in, and it was a
and
really
I'm not even sure if we spoke about income right away, but
I think we touched on it a little bit.
Possibly, but I know that for a fact that we're like, okay, what's your credit score? What kind of debt do you have?
Do you have any kids? Like,
yeah, exactly. Because we're like, you know what? With the age that we're at, it's better that we just get out of the way now before we get emotionally connected. Or,
absolutely.
The fish hook in with the emotions already. But so what happened is we ended up. We were talking after that for, I don't know, a week or so, and then eventually I was like, hey, so we should grab a drink in uptown Minneapolis or something, and Zainab is all like, I'm in Chicago, and I'm like, okay, awesome, when do you get back to Minneapolis? And she's like, no, you don't understand, I live in Chicago.
And I don't live in Minneapolis.
Yeah, so right away then I'm like, well, that sucks, okay. That's not expected. Well, I work remotely, so I guess let's check and see how this goes.
Yeah. And then Joseph would like literally call me like every single day. We would FaceTime. We would like talk about everything. Just kind of talk about life and just like the things that we like, the things that we don't like. And really got to know each other. Yeah. And then like I want to say like 2 weeks of like you calling all the time, checking in, engaging. Then I had a tooth surgery.
Yeah, you went to the dentist.
Yeah, I had the dentist. I had to like get something like, so I think they had to take gum area. It's just some dental nonsense. So he then told me, I'm flying in. I have to come take care of you.
Yeah. And I'm like, and on top of that, I'm like, well, I mean, we've already been talking for 2 weeks. We live in different cities. And we seem to really be clicking and connecting. So we might as well meet in person. The faster we can find out that we don't connect in person, the faster we can just cut ties right away. Or if we do connect, we can finally be like, okay, yes, this is worth pursuing.
Yeah, because I thought it was really good timing. I felt like I was in pain, so if you can come at my worst and we connect, great. If not, I go back to recovery.
Yeah, from the surgery or whatever.
Yeah, but then you flew in. Yeah. I didn't believe you were coming. I'm like, oh, please. Yeah. Like, you don't even know me. Yeah. But then he said he was at the airport. We FaceTime all the time.
Yeah, we would always FaceTime. Yeah. Like, anytime we would call. Yeah. And then eventually when I was like, okay, I'm coming, and I'm at the airport. Once I got to the airport, the Minneapolis airport for flying to Chicago, I wasn't FaceTiming because there's people all around me. There's a lot of noise. So I called her on the phone from that point forward until I got to Chicago. And even when I landed in Chicago, it wasn't any FaceTime. So it made her feel suspicious because...
Yeah, so I was just like, what's up with this dude? But we'll see.
Yeah. Because she's like, you've been FaceTiming me this whole time. And now that you're at the airport, you're not FaceTiming me?
And that's because I just didn't believe he was coming. But he did show up, and he was Prince Charming and very sweet, and I was in a lot of pain, but, you know, taking care of Zainab, and he would make me some soup. Like, it was really sweet. Yeah. And we had a really good time. At one point, I even made an attempt, like, just for us to move around. so he can get to know Chicago.
Yeah,
We went to the West Loop area.
Driving around to try to find a restaurant.
A nice restaurant to eat, even though I was like, my teeth, but you're like, we're going to have fun. Joseph was so sweet.
Yeah, because I had rented a car.
Yeah, he did rent a car.
Because once I landed, I ended up renting a car.
Yeah, and I feel like we skipped a section. When you first got here at Chicago, and you came upstairs, and when I first realized that you're here, and when I opened the door, I was like, oh my God, he's here.
Yeah.
Opened the door, I'm like, oh, he's handsome. Oh, this is great. And then you gave me like the longest hug ever.
Yeah.
It was like, I felt like in that moment is when we knew that our connection over the phone
was real.
Absolutely. In person as well. So I feel like that started our journey.
Yeah.
And then that weekend, like, it just was really nice. He was really sweet.
And we kept on dating for what, like 9 months or something like that. And then eventually I popped the question.
Well, you popped the question in the 10th month. Technically.
Okay, something like that.
Because we met October 8th, so technically you popped the question July 23rd.
Yep, absolutely. And how it happened is, so one of the times that Zainab was in Minneapolis visiting me while I was still living in Minneapolis, we were just kind of like staying downtown in a hotel, having a great time or whatever. And I eventually, she was like in the bathroom doing something, and I was like texting her sister saying, I need to marry your sister.
And I had no idea. Just in my la land in the bathroom, enjoying the aesthetics in the hotel.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I didn't even realize that you were engaged with my family.
Yeah. So I was like in cahoots with your sister and your niece, like gradually over the period of like 2 months or something like that, or a month and a half, trying to figure out like, what type of ring to get, what's your ring size? Because I guess that your niece knew your ring size from a previous family trip you went on.
Yeah, we went to Dubai, and since my mom is into jewelry and stuff, and my sister, so that was like kind of like a moment where we would like go soap shopping. Yeah. And then my mom would like test my fingers for like rings and stuff, and I'm like, what is this lady doing?
Yeah.
Little did I know it was gonna come in handy.
Yeah.
And they remembered my ring size from there.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, your sister Adiat and your niece Moriam and myself, we would do FaceTime sessions on Google Teams. And we would just kind of, look at different rings and do some research or whatever and kind of customize some things. And then that kind of put me in a good direction as far as what to do with myself. And then I kind of came up with a ring design. And
I think that's so dope that you took the time to like understand that process and then like start designing on your own and design the ring.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And then with me working remotely, so I do like UX design for like Best Buy corporate, and I've done in the past ride-alongs for hopping in the van with a Geek Squad agent that's going to a customer's house to maybe repair their washer dryer type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Just to understand the employee's experience and the customer experience. So anyways, being as how I've done that previously in the past for work, I, on a Friday, told Zainab, hey, by the way, because I had flown into Chicago, and I was like, hey, by the way, tomorrow morning I have another ride-along for a Geek Squad agent for work. So,
and I didn't think much of it, because obviously for me, I'm like, he works remote, and I know that that's something that they've tried in the past to make an attempt to do while you were here. So I just didn't think much of it at all. Yeah. Little did I know that you were in cahoots with my family.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of like missed the part just telling them like how it was important that you also brought my family in to like ask for my hand in marriage.
Yeah. So that's exactly. Yeah. So my plan was to try to figure out how am I gonna like ask your mom and your family for your hand in marriage if I'm in Minneapolis, you're in Chicago, and what am I gonna do? Like at some point, just kind of not tell you I'm coming to Chicago at some point, and then like meet with your family and then go back to Minneapolis or something. I don't know, but so eventually I was like, okay, I have the perfect plan. I feel bad. I'm gonna have to lie to you momentarily. I'm gonna have to...
I'm like, you better not ever lie to me again.
Yeah. So I ended up actually telling her that I had a ride along for work on that Saturday morning. Yeah. And she was like, okay, cool, awesome. So I'm getting ready for work and ended up letting her know, hey, my Uber's outside so that they can take me to the headquarters so I can get ready for the Geek Squad ride along, right?
Yeah.
And so, let alone she didn't know, is her brother was actually waiting downstairs for me. So
Shout out to Hakeem for being the Uber driver.
Yeah. So, yep. So Hakeem came to pick me up downstairs in his vehicle, and then we drove over to Adiat's place, Zainab's sister.
My united family.
Yeah. So the whole family was there, and ended up asking for her hand in marriage.
I can't even believe that you guys were able to get away with that. Like, with me really not knowing. Like, that was a really good come to Jesus moment where you guys were able to really come together without me knowing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm usually so nosy.
Like, because like your oldest brother, Lookman, at the end of everything, he was like, okay, cool. So like, when do you plan on asking her? And I'm like, 3 o'clock. And he's like, oh, today? And I'm like, yep, 3 o'clock. So, because Adiat knew that I was going to be proposing at 3 o'clock, but I don't think that the rest of the family knew, but Adiat knew that I needed to be back at Zainab's place at X time so that we could be at X location at X time.
Gotcha.
So that I could pop the question because I hired a photographer.
Oh, so you had my other portion of my family was still in zone of like, oh, you're asking for the hand in marriage. But they weren't aware. It was also after you approved today.
Yeah.
I'm kind of there. So please accept.
Yeah, I know, right? I've already set the stage. I've already hired a photographer and everything, so please accept because the ball's already rolling. So.
You were very optimistic.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. So then eventually, all that got done, Zainab's mom was able to bless the ring, actually, so that was super cool.
My dear mom.
Yeah, her mom ended up blessing the ring. Because I had the ring with me at her sister's place, so I broke out the ring, showed it to your mom.
I can definitely see my mom doing that. Like, she probably got really emotional. Like, let me bless it in the name of Allah.
Yeah.
I definitely can see her doing that.
Yeah. So I ended up coming back and found out that so it was the Chicago Bean. The idea was to hire a photographer to be a random person at Millennium Park.
Millennium Park. Yeah.
So Millennium Park. I always say the word really weird for some reason, but yeah, Millennium Park, the Chicago Bean. It's the sculpture that Chicago is known for, kind of like how Minneapolis is known for the spoon and cherry. Well, Chicago is known for the Chicago Bean. It's just a great big metallic bean that reflects the city because it's a shiny object. But yeah, beautiful park.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea was to hire this photographer to act as a random person going around taking photos of couples and coming up to us saying, hey, you guys look beautiful together. Do you mind if I take pictures? So that's what happened, right? So
and then, of course, the guy walks up intending to take pictures of us. And my first thing is, do we have to pay you? Because you can't just take pictures of me. I'm paying you.
And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, he's already paid for it, babe.
That was so funny. I finally gave in. He was very nice, and he was convincing. That's David Hicks. Shout out to him. He's also going to be doing our pictures at our wedding. So
David Hicks.
Great,
David Hicks. What's his website or
Instagram?
I
have no idea.
I don't know,
but David Hicks. You guys will see him at the wedding if you'll be there. So
he's an amazing photographer. Absolutely, reach out to him, David Hicks. For photography.
He was really great. He was able to capture me, especially as a woman of color. He was able to capture me from like different angles, especially being super dark skinned as well. He captured me really well, and I thought that was really great. Yeah. So what ended up happening is he ended up coming up and asked for the photos, and was like, okay, cool, and had us kind of stand next to each other, and then he said, okay, now I would need me, to take a step back so that Zainab is more in front. So kind of setting the stage a little bit more for a new photo. And it was actually planned. That specific photo was planned to be between himself and myself. That's so
funny. Where
I still had no idea.
Yeah.
At this point, it's so hot in Chicago, just setting the stage for you guys. It was about 95 degrees. Of course, I love the heat because I was born in Nigeria, and I can always appreciate a hot day in the city.
Yeah.
And
I'm Minnesotan born, so I'm just like, give me the winter or something like that.
So that was like really just me enjoying the weather and
Yeah.
I guess they were in cahoots and I just was kind of in my own little world.
Yeah, because you were
Enjoying the
standing in
park.
front of me, so you couldn't see me because that pose was the purpose
Yeah.
was so that you were in front and I was behind.
I was
so
being
that you couldn't see what was
distracted.
going on.
Yeah.
And so as soon as she got in front and I was behind, I got down on one knee, I broke out the ring, and we actually have that recorded.
Which you guys will see on our website. Obviously, if you're watching this video, it's on our website.
Yeah.
So you'll also see the proposal on our website. So
Yeah.
you get to capture. We were lucky enough where we had someone in the area at the Bean,
Yeah,
capturing
in the
a
audience,
moment in the
yeah.
audience, and we had a crowd. At first, I thought all those people were hired by Joseph.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, where did you find all these people?
Yeah, the video footage doesn't really pick it up because the crowd is actually behind us. But
it felt that way because I'm facing them and I'm like, whoa, who are all these
just
people?
so many people.
Yeah.
So
it was beautiful though.
When the photographer started to kind of pan around,
Yeah.
because Zainab was standing and I'm kneeling. As the photographer is panning around, he's telling Zainab to pan with him to turn around, and she turns around and sees me on one knee with the ring.
And you will see a little bit of my vanity as I'm so into taking pictures. And I'm not even a picture person, but that moment once he had me, I was like, okay, let's do pictures. And then that's how he was able to pull it off. So it worked.
And then
but it was a beautiful
around,
proposal.
You were totally didn't expect it.
I started crying.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful.
I asked you and
you
accepted, and I couldn't get the ring on at first. I was trying to get the ring on your finger and I was like, oh my God, she gave me the wrong size. Maureen gave me the wrong size. But then I was like, this thing is going on. So I pushed it and I was like, oh, that's actually a perfect fit. Okay. So we stood up.
Joseph was determined,
Yeah, she said yes.
She said yes.
And we both had a little bit of a tear in our eye or
Yes,
whatever. And
we
right away
did.
I told her, by the way, I lied about this morning.
Yes.
I didn't go for the ride along for work. I actually went to your family's place.
The cutest part was
Asked for
where
a hand
you're obviously not a great liar.
Yeah.
The minute that I got up, the first thing Joseph said was, I'm so sorry I lied to you this morning. And that was not my intention, but it was for good reason. And I just started laughing. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
So it was
Yeah,
awesome.
so that's our story. And I hope you guys come to our wedding. I hope
Now we're engaged.
We're engaged. We're getting married. And hopefully you guys come share that beautiful moment on that day. We have a lot of fun in our relationship and we have a lot of good times and good moments. And we can only hope that you guys will be there that day to come share that beautiful wedding day with us.
Yes.
As we look forward to that on July 22nd, 2023.
Yeah. I love you.
Love you too, baby.